Former UFC champion Khabib Nurmagomedov is quite upset with the UFC because they haven't renewed the contracts of Dagestani fighters. The UFC is favoring trash talking more. Regarding this, Khabib Nurmagomedov is very upset. He has given a statement due to which two very different opinions have emerged within the MMA community. The difference between entertainment and skill, which we will discuss in this video. Along with this, Islam Makhachev has revealed that perhaps the UFC offered him a fight against Michael Morales in January. Michael Morales has also confirmed this here, that he was offered a fight against Islam in January. I will tell you all the details of that fight as well. First, let's discuss the fight between Islam Makhachev and Michael Morales. The highest chances at this time seem to be that Michael Morales could get a title shot. Out of all the contenders, the UFC might prefer Michael Morales. Now, Michael Morales and Islam Makhachev have both confirmed this in their statements. News about Islam came out a while ago that the UFC wants Islam to take that fight in January and fight again, because Islam himself said he wants to remain very active. So Islam said in his interview that he was offered a fight by the UFC in January. The UFC hadn't revealed any name to him, but most probably it was Michael Morales. And Michael Morales also said in his respective interview that he was offered a high-profile fight in January. But this fight couldn't be fixed at this time, because we all know Khabib didn't let Islam fight either, because the fights would have been too close together. He just fought in November and then fighting again in January. Islam said he would have had to go into a training camp immediately if he wanted to take this fight. So this fight wasn't feasible in January. And somewhere, brothers, we all saw what happened with Merab Dvalishvili. Fighting too frequently can also be detrimental to you, so Islam Makhachev made a smart decision in that sense. But brothers, what is the outcome of this whole scenario? There is a high possibility that Islam's next opponent will be Michael Morales, and he is a very dangerous contender in himself. We know Islam Makhachev's wrestling skills and ground game are impeccable. He has very good wrestling, but Michael Morales brings advantages in physicality, his height, his length, his reach. Even looping shots from Michael Morales connect while standing out of range. And in his last fight, he defeated a wrestler like Sean Brady. Sean Brady is the fighter whose wrestling Khabib himself had praised. So you can understand that by defeating Sean Brady in the first round in that manner, Michael Morales has a lot of hype right now. That's why perhaps the UFC offered this fight to Islam Makhachev in January. A big question here is, if this fight didn't happen in January, can it happen again? Yes, there are high chances it can happen again. Islam said in his interview that he will be available a month or two after Ramadan ends to defend his belt again, which puts his timeline in 2026, which has now arrived. He is ready to fight in April, May, or June. If he gets an opportunity on a White House card as well, he is ready for that. And most probably Michael Morales can get the title shot. What do you all think about this? You can tell me in the comments section below. Let's talk about Khabib Nurmagomedov. A few days ago, Khabib gave a statement. He says he is somewhere not happy with these US promotions. Mostly MMA promotions. Companies like UFC, Bellator, and PFL mostly operate from the US. He says these US promotions are not happy with Dagestani fighters and fighters from the Caucasus region. They are playing politics against them and not renewing their contracts because of that politics. He basically says these US companies are tired of Russian and Dagestani fighters coming into UFC and Bellator and dominating. Fighters with the surnames Nurmagomedov and Magomedov are defeating everyone else. They are winning championships, and no one is able to match them, so now the promotions are playing politics. They are not renewing contracts for these fighters. A big reason for Khabib saying this now is Rinat Fakhretdinov, who is an undefeated Dagestani fighter in the UFC. His contract wasn't renewed recently. Even though he didn't lose in the UFC, not a single fight, the UFC didn't renew his contract. Often you see many fighters taking back-to-back losses and still getting many renewals, but Rinat Fakhretdinov didn't lose even one fight. Yet his contract wasn't renewed. And brothers, Khabib says politics is happening and people are favoring trash-talking more. UFC and other promotion companies believe more in trash talking. Because these Dagestani fighters have hunger and skill and don't believe in trash talking, they aren't being given chances now. And this is unfair. Let me tell you my opinion on this. I feel that from a sportsman's perspective, this is definitely very unfair. Because an MMA fighter's job is basically to fight, and they should be judged by how well they fight. But brothers, we all know we don't live in a fair world. This world is very crooked. In a fair scenario, whoever has the most skill should have the most money. We see boxers/YouTubers like Jake Paul earning $40 million from one fight, but many professional, highly skilled boxers stay broke and go bankrupt. We have to understand that life isn't entirely fair. If you look at it from a business perspective, the UFC is an entertainment company. The UFC is not a sports federation. They aren't necessarily looking to uplift fighters. At the end of the day, the UFC is an entertainment company. Whoever brings the most entertainment, skill is good. But the skill factor has lessened slightly in recent times. But if you have an entertainment angle, you can market yourself and generate popularity. which will benefit you greatly. Then you will get sure-shot success in the UFC. Many people will say this is unfair. A fighter's job is fighting. But as I told you, the UFC is a company, and business always runs on profits. People are criticizing why UFC is supporting entertaining and trash-talking fighters. Many people started different organizations. We saw PFL start recently, and Khabib himself started an MMA organization, Eagle FC, but it didn't do that well. We've seen the condition of PFL lately as well. Those who advocated for fighters are not in good shape today. As soon as investor money runs out, PFL will face problems. That's why the UFC has always been unapologetic. They back fighters who bring entertainment. Because of this, the UFC has survived and will continue to push this way in the future. Their new Paramount deal is for $5 billion, so they will push the entertainment angle more. They will cut fighters who aren't providing entertainment or whose fighting style isn't interesting. This is a harsh truth. That's why today, to succeed in the UFC, one thing is very important. Your English should be fluent. Even at Khabib Nurmagomedov's MMA school in Dagestan, along with MMA training, English training is provided. They have English classes, so that when they go to MMA organizations, they can speak English. This allows them to reach a global audience and be marketed correctly. The Dagestani audience and fighters understand this, and steps are being taken. This is what's happening in our MMA community. What do you think? Should the UFC really cut fighters, or can exceptions be made? Let me know in the comments.